Next we'll add the plow to the front of the robot. This of course being the part that's used to push the other robots around. As I'm inserting this here, it's actually putting it in sort of upside down from the way it will end up being. As you start putting mates in, it will kind of work itself out. But if you want to kind of start it off in close to the right place, you can click on the arrow below Move Component, and then click Rotate Component. And then it will allow you to click and drag and kind of spin this around to something a little closer than to where it should be. So we go back into Mate. The top face of the bottom flange here on Plow will get mated to the bottom of our base plate. And then we'll use these two larger outer holes here to mate to the large outer holes on the base plate. This is something somewhere. So got that in there. And then next we can put in the Raspberry Pi and the kind of sensor package that's up top. This gets mounted using the 4 holes in the Raspberry Pi here to the 4 smaller holes in the top plate. So I got a couple holes mated there, but I haven't done the mate to put the 2 faces together. And the reason for that being is I wanted to show you on this one we're not actually going to have them be touching. There's going to be some offset. So when I selected the 2 faces here, instead of leaving it on coincident, we're going to come down here and make it a distance mate. And leave a 1/4 inch between the 2 of them. So type 0.25 in here, and that will leave a 1/4 inch gap between those 2 parts. Next we can add the couple of parts that attach to the bottom here. The first one of those is the ball caster, which is Pololu 951. That's part number 951 from a online store called Pololu that sells robotics components. So this is going to get attached to this set of small holes on the front, the 2 that are closer together. So first start off by mating the face here of the ball caster to the bottom face of the base plate. But you'll notice that when I do that, it's kind of put them the wrong way around. Instead of being touching, they're kind of on the same place. You can flip them around by clicking the buttons under mate alignment. So I'll click there, spins it around, and now we're all good. So then we do the couple of concentric mates on the holes. grab this cylindrical part. There you go. And then the next one is the sensor that detects the edge of the arena. And that one is this QTR3RC. Toss that in there. Oops. Getting mate mode. Seem to keep forgetting that. So it mates to the bottom side of the flange here on the plow. And then the holes go in like you would expect. Yeah. It's all in there good. And that's it. There's our completed robot model. So now, if we were designing this part, it'd be a good opportunity to go through and make sure that everything makes sense. Make sure that nothing's, hitting anything else. Nothing's kind of, intersecting anything else, overlapping, because that obviously doesn't work in the real world. Obviously a good time to save. One thing that comes to mind as we're looking at this is we can add some kind of a small defensive feature to our robot here. Since we have, the robots are going to have this big kind of flat plow on the front, if another robot comes up behind you and sticks their plow right up against the back edge here, it's going to be hard for your robot to get away because you're going to have a flat face on a flat face. So if we were to round the back end here, it would make it not quite so susceptible to that. So let's go ahead and add that change in. So if we go back to our base plate, again, you can switch by window, menu, and then choosing. There's also a keyboard shortcut, Control Tab, that will allow you to switch back and forth very handily. So that to add our curved back face here, we can go edit our original sketch. So if you expand the extruded boss base feature in the browser, you'll find that sketch that we made originally. You can click on it and then click Edit Sketch in the icons that pop up. And now we're back in our original sketch. To make that kind of curved surface, we're going to come up here and use a circular arc. The default one is called center point arc, but for this one we actually want a 3-point arc. So click the little arrow next to it, choose 3-point arc. The first point will be this bottom left corner. Second point will be bottom right corner. And then you see we can kind of drag that arc around where we want to be. So we can throw it out there somewhere. And we now have a curve. But it would be really nice to have a good dimension on this. So a dimension that makes sense is if we click the point tool, that will allow us to drop a point right here on the center point. You see it's got a feature that we can select there. And then that allows us to make a smart dimension between that center point and what used to be the back face of our robot. And something about a 1/4 inch here probably makes sense. Let's add that in there. Now we're fully constrained, which is great. We're fully defined, and we have a nice curved surface there. So we can exit the sketch. And now we need to add that to the part that gets extruded in the boss base. So right-click on your boss extrude feature, and then Edit Feature is this first icon that pops up. So click that, and then we need to add this section down here into the extruded contours. So click selected contour box here and click on that to add it in, and then click OK. We now have that nice curved back surface there. And you'll see that if we switch back to the robot, that we have that curved surface now show up in a robot model as well. Save everything to make sure our work is saved, and there we are.